How's it going, everybody? We are ESKAAPE, and that's empowering self-knowledge to African American people everywhere. Our mission is to demand and practice respect while promoting true African excellence and moral conduct. Today we have our special guest, Denise Powers, and we have Queen Jasmine, who's a part of ESKAAPE, and they will be helping me discuss domestic violence in our community. So first and foremost, we thank the Creator for another day of life. Despite where we are in our lives, the struggles and successes we have experienced, He brought us back here again and together. The gift of life is the greatest gift of all, and nothing else truly matters except the love we receive from those who matter the most. So, to start off our discussion, I'm going to speak about the legalistics about domestic violence. What is domestic violence? Who do it affect? So, according to the state of Ohio, domestic violence involves violence or threatened violence against a family member or a household member. So those household members can be a spouse, former spouse, or a romantic partner with whom the offender has resided in the last 5 years. That's according to the state of Ohio. Is the offender's parent or foster parent, a child of the offender, an extended family member of the offender, a parent or child of the offender's spouse, former spouse or romantic partner, and an extended family member of the offender's spouse, former spouse or romantic partner. Next, I'm going to discuss what is domestic violence, like who can it affect, or is it a knowingly act or is it a reckless act? So I'm going to distinguish between the two. So someone commits domestic violence when he or she knowingly or recklessly causes physical harm to the victim or threatens a family member or household member with physical force, causing that person to fear an imminent physical attack. So a knowing act is intentional, and a reckless act is something that's committed without regard for the outcome. So, for example, if you push your spouse out the way so you can get past through the door or through the house or something, and that person, she gets hurt or he gets hurt, that's a recklessness act. So there wasn't no intention on that part. But if a victim is hurt, a case of domestic violence can be filed. So.
Okay. Well, I'm really anxious to get into the story about domestic violence with Ms. Powers. We both have two stories, different areas of life, but I'm sure we're going to reveal some similarities as we, continue the discussion. And without any further ado, I do want to go ahead and allow Ms. Powers an opportunity to share her story and how she overcame the situation.
Oh, hey, everybody. I'm Mrs. Powers. I'm Denise Powers, and I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I went through everything you can think of. I was at a point in time where I didn't think that I can even go through it. I learned that you can't speak too soon. I can't judge nobody's unless I'm in that situation. So I was put in a situation where I was in love, thought I was in love, it was lust. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. Without checking his background, all I knew was he gave me that type of attention that I wanted at that time, and I fell for it. So I took in everything, and everything was domestic violence. I took in beating, choke, slam. I had him tell me, you can't go nowhere. Why you spending time with him? What you messed with him, had sex with him, why is he around? I went through a whole lot, and I tuned out of my family. I stayed away from my family, my friends.
How many years did you spend in a relationship enduring domestic violence?
A couple years. I stayed in it for a whole year because I married him. I married the man, and I had his child. And carrying his child, I got beat for my whole pregnancy. My daughter's a blessing.
So you mentioned that he was giving you the attention that you required. What kind of attention was that he started, that he showed at first, but that led into the abuse?
Well, I didn't have that father figure everybody had. I didn't know what love was. I didn't have that attention everybody had. So when I met him and he gave me all the attention I was seeking, making me feel like I was somebody for once. He showed me love, showed my son love. My son father not in his life, so when he came and gave me that family foundation I was looking for, I thought it was right at that time. It opened up my heart, so I didn't want to let that go. I felt for once I got the family, the foundation.
Right.
I finally get that man that loved me and treat me like a queen, want to lay with me and hold me and tell me I'm beautiful and love me for me and not talk about me and look at me and call me names. But he accepted me at that time, so I felt it was something. Maybe, since I was already hurt in the past, I was so immune to it, I thought it was just right.
Do you care to go into any details as far as the abuse?
I don't mind.
Okay.
I don't mind. Let me see. I say the last time I got beat, I came in the house and I didn't know he looked through my phone, but he looked through my phone. And he seen a message that my friends had sent to me telling me that they are there for me because I lost my job. And they know I have 2 kids and they know it's hard when you're struggling. So they said, we got your back. If you need anything, whatever it is you need, we got it. And he was very insecure. So I knew he was about to go to jail. And I came home and he pulled up. I didn't know who he pulled up with. I didn't happen to look. Didn't know it was his baby mother, but I let it go. I was in the house. He came back and stormed. When I say he was on 100. I think I got slammed down concrete steps, bathroom steps. The car seat was right by me. I got the car seat thrown at me. I tried to run. I tried to jump the fence. He stopped me from jumping the fence. He told me, he said, if you jump this fence, the police is gonna come. I went in the house. I got beat with a wooden bat. I have 5 screws in my arm. I got beat with a wooden bat. He beat me till I couldn't move no more. So when females sit there and say, if a man ever put their hands on me, I'm going to beat him,
Right.
I'm going to kill him. We don't know what we're going to do till we put in that predicament. We do not know at all. We talking from fear because we love our kids and we love ourselves. So we speaking at that point in time. Like right now, I can say, if a man put their hands on me, I'm going to kill him. But when I'm in that predicament, ain't no gun or nothing by me. I can't overpower no man. I don't care how much I feel like I can. I am a woman. I couldn't overpower this man. There was nothing in my body that can overpower a bat swinging at me and drug down concrete steps. So to all these females out here that just blow up Facebook and holler and talk like they is more stronger than a man, and I don't care, I got my gun license or I got this and this and that. Is that gun gonna be by you at that 5.2 seconds when he's swinging and about to knock you out? No, it's not.
Yeah.
So no, like I said, I learned my lesson. I'm not gonna speak too soon on nobody because I couldn't even walk. I couldn't even walk, and when I say I couldn't walk, my cousin, I love her dearly. She's also my Facebook friend. She came and rescued me and thought she was about to take me to the ambulance, and I couldn't walk. They came and slapped me down in the slather. When I left that hospital, I had a cast on both legs. I was called back to the emergency to tell me that my arm is broke for the rest of my life. I couldn't hold my daughter for months. I had to ring a doorbell. I had to get help to the bathroom. I miss my daughter newborn life. So no.
So you said that was like the last like occasion that you were abused.
Right.
So what advice would you give to younger girls as far as
relationship.
learning the early signs and not letting it get to that point to where you get, some very dangerous and damaging scars.
First, to these younger youth, y'all have to respect yourself. Y'all can't go out there disrespecting yourself. I know we got different music out here, shaking your A and pop blocking and whatever. Play fighting is not smart. It's not nice because it can get real. Or the man can be immune to it and he can think you like being called a beat. He can think you like wrestling. Then when it gets serious, you scared. You can't be scared. You started it. You made him think this is what you like. Start respecting yourself. Love yourself. I mean, I learned the hard way. And it's more to my story, not just
Right.
domestic violence, but I learned the hard way. We're going to have to own up to what we do and how we set ourselves out to be. Like, I made so many mistakes. I have people coming to me now that I'm a changed woman telling me, I'm proud of you. I'm proud that you're not that same hoe, that same slut, that same girl that was disrespecting yourself. So watch what you do because you're going to have to pay for it in the long run. Every mistake you make is going to follow you no matter what. It's going to follow you. So just...
I got a question. Earlier, I spoke on the legalistics of domestic violence. I don't got the kids running around. Earlier, I spoke on the legalistics of domestic violence involving household members. Other than in a relationship aspect, have you experienced domestic violence from a family member or any other household member?
Any other family other than him? I mean, I was hurt. I was abused. I was molested. So I could say other than me being beaten and domestic violence, I went through being molested in my life. So that hurt me mentally too, to where I didn't get over it. So I brought all my pain and everything in all my relationships.
So was this from a family member or a close friend of a family?
It was from a family member.
So, domestic violence it's not just a relationship aspect. You gotta understand, it could be spouse, it could be any family member in your household, any household family member as well. So, I'm gonna pass it on to Jasmine. Would you like to share your most recent experience with domestic violence, how you overcame it? Or
My only experience. But first, I do want to thank Denise for sharing her story. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot more to it. But take what you can from the information because it's a real story. It's a real story. And yeah, I can definitely go into my experience, which was very recent. It didn't last. It wasn't a deeper story as far as years because it just wasn't going to go that far. But the early signs for me, I sort of justified him getting upset with me over my opinions. I'm just trying to really give you a briefing from the beginning till the actual incident that landed him in jail and stuff like that. But from the beginning, he would always reject me, my opinion, my thoughts, my mind, my perspective. Okay, if it wasn't something that he agreed with or could understand, then I was stupid. I didn't make sense. I have no point or no logic behind what I said. And obviously, if I'm expressing something, I have a logic to it. You just don't understand it. So he would get extremely irate, not just irritated, but irate about an opinion that I had that he could not understand. So instead of trying to understand my mind, he would try to break it down, tell me that I'm stupid or whatever. So, but I used to, let that stuff go because he would always apologize in the end. And it seemed like, okay, well, maybe he's just learning. And I was working with him. He was a younger guy, 27. Just to give you a quick briefing, I was in a 10-year relationship before him, and that was my only relationship as, an adult. Other than that, it's like boyfriend, girlfriend, puppy love stuff. But it was a 10-year relationship, so I went through a lot in those 10 years. But I knew in a relationship, in order for it to work, you're going to endure some things. So I justified his actions as just being one of those things that we have to work through. You know what I mean? But so that was the very first sign. In the beginning, I'd say about 3 months in, just becoming irate over opinions. It could be over a movie. It could be over just anything. If it was an opinion he did not agree with, he would become irate to the point where he wants to choke me and reaching for my neck, okay, or push me. And so there was one occasion where I was in his room, and it was something I said or expressed that he did not agree with and was not okay with. And we ended up getting into an argument, and I had asked him for a minute because I don't want to argue. Told him that, and instead of respecting me, this leads to the next sign. Instead of respecting me wanting time, you know what I'm saying, between us before we talk further because we're arguing and this is not going well, no, we're going to talk now. You're going to tell me what's wrong with you. I want a minute. I need a minute. No, we're going to talk now. And grabbing my arms and stuff. You know, like, come on, give me a minute so we can cool off and then we can talk. So that leads to my second sign that I justify for him not respecting me, basically, wanting space, you know, needing time, not respecting what I needed. And so time went on. We would argue over small things, still those two things. And in that same incident, I tried to leave his apartment because he was acting irate, and he pushed me from the door, from leaving. And like really, he jumped and pushed me down, and I fell. And so, of course I'm upset, you know. Of course I wasn't scared of him at all. So we ended up getting into it over it because I'm retaliating at this point. This is after being pushed around in the room and me trying to leave, and he pushes me before I leave out the door. So at this point, I'm upset, he's upset, and it just didn't go well. We both ended up with scars that night. We ended up making up. I'm really trying to break it down in the timeline. We ended up making up. You know, everything's going good again. Oh, it's my baby. He's working. He's trying to do better. You know, just me justifying him, justifying his bad behavior. It's never okay. I want to say it's never okay to justify bad behavior. It does not matter if it's your mother. Like, if it's bad behavior, it's not okay to justify it. You're only fooling yourself. Okay, so that's what I did. I fooled myself into thinking that he was, you know, working on being better for the union or for me, for himself, really. But he wasn't, okay? He was the whole time seeking control over my mind, how to react, when to react, how I should react, stuff like that. But it turned into him embarrassing me in public. He would take me out to eat and totally embarrass me. Deadpool came out, right? Remember the movie Deadpool? So he took me to go see the movie, right? I'm not a big comic head, okay? I'll tell you that. He's upset because I'm not a comic head. When I say this guy wanted me to be his twin, that's what I mean. Like, he wanted me to be his twin rapper, his twin whatever, friend, his buddy. He wanted me to be, you know, more like the male friend type. I have my own likes, but because I'm your girlfriend, I'm going to go with you, okay? It's not a big deal. Let's go watch the stinking movie. So we go to the movies. I had an opinion on it because he said that it was fake. It wasn't depicting the real story of Deadpool. And I'm like, well, they're making it into a movie, so they have to change up some things, which, I mean, come on, it's true. It's not going to be like the cartoon. So he got upset about my opinion and totally embarrassed me while we were out eating. You know, looking at other people, really making a show. So then it becomes them making shows, making scenes, and stuff like that. These are all things that I'm ignoring and justifying. But the later incident to where he landed up in jail, we were at my place, in my room, and actually we just got off from work. I made him dinner. I cooked it before we even went to work. I got off on break to make sure it was done when he got off. So I made him dinner. He came home. He ate. And he's like, I'm going to go out with my friends. I'm like, okay, whatever. So he went out with his friend. He didn't come home till about 4 in the morning, right? he acted weird. So weird, stalling in the hallway, leaning. I didn't know who he was. I asked him, "Are you okay?" Instantly, boom. What do you mean, am I okay? You know what I'm saying? Just caught attitude off top. And so I knew he was drinking, but it was something more than just drinking. I have people saying that it was lean. I believe it was lean because I've seen it as far as the people he hangs with. They do that stuff, and who knows what else it could have been. At this point, I'm like, yeah, he's totally out of it. So I let that slide, okay? He gets in the bed, and at this point, I'm just trying to cuddle with him because, you know, he's acting retarded, but I know he's drunk, so I'm just going to let it go tonight, and let's just cuddle, right? No. I couldn't touch him. He didn't want me to touch him, do anything, right? So I sit up, and I'm like, well, what's wrong? Are you okay? Boom. Questions is a trigger. You know what I'm saying? For narcissists and, you know, just people with bad intent. I ask a question, boom. Upset, irritated, irate. Yeah, I'm okay, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, you're acting weird or whatever, and totally go off. You know what? I can't stand you, blah, blah, blah. Reach for my neck. Anytime he gets upset, instantly reach for my neck. Like, if you really can see, good thing I'm dark-skinned, but my neck was really tore up. But anyway, he's reaching for my neck in this point. And I'm like, are you reaching for my neck? Didn't you tell me you wouldn't do this again? Blah, 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 blah. Arguing, fighting, and he's on the bed, choking me while I'm on the bed. I get up. We start arguing. We're at this point going back and forth arguing, and he's just telling me the whole time how he can't stand me, how he wants to wring my freaking neck, all this stuff. And I'm like, what did I do? I asked you, are you okay? You came home 4:30 in the morning acting weird, okay? I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with you, okay? The fact is, he didn't like me questioning him about anything, and that sent him through the roof, just like any other time. And so, at this point, I knew I couldn't justify him anymore. He was wrong. He was just wrong. Nothing I did deserved to be choked. He literally choked me into the wall. Our bed moved forward. I fell behind the wall. And once I got on the floor, he's on top of me, kicking me on the floor, you know, just the whole time telling me how he can't stand me. Something's wrong with me. But what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with me. But anyways, I asked him to leave. You have to leave. I'm really trying to shorten this story up for this. But I asked him, told him, you have to leave. Go to your mom's house. You are acting crazy. So, no, I'm going to stay here. This is my house too, blah, blah, blah. Not being rational at all. So at some point, he ends up heading his way out the door, grabbing his stuff, because I guess he's decided that's the best thing to do at this point. You already hit me. I'm sitting up bleeding. My breast is bloody at this point. Scars all over my neck. Clothes ripped up. Our bedroom is a mess. So I guess he decided, yeah, I better go ahead and leave, right? So he starts loading his stuff in the car. As soon as he went out the door, I went to go lock the doors. You're not coming back here. Come get your stuff in the morning. So as soon as he took his first load to the car, I started locking the doors, locking windows, everything. He ran all the way around to the house to our bedroom window, which was the last window that I came to lock. I'm sitting there fighting him, trying to close the door. He reaches in, pulled me by my afro, because it's reachable, it's grabbable, you know. Pulled me by my hair and started pounding my head with his fist out the window. I'm hanging out the window at this point. Pushes me in, he climbs in, and just started repeatedly kicking me and stuff on the floor again because I'm locking the doors, because I said go home, because I wouldn't let him back in the house. I wanted him to go to his mom's, which was just around the corner, until the next day, but he didn't want to do that. So anyway, he's in the house at this point. It's over with. We both know it's over. There's no more, because you've already said you wouldn't do this again. You already, you know, made broken promises. So at this point, he ends up leaving out the door after he beats me again, and I run into the basement while he's getting the rest of his stuff, right? And so when I heard him start his car, I run out to check the license plate because I called the police on him. I did. I called the police on him because, you know, you're not going to leave the situation free at this point. You had an opportunity to leave and just come back in the morning. But at this point, no, you're just not going to get away with it. You got away with it the first time. You got away with it the second time. You're not getting away with this time.
I got a question for you. After the first attack, why did you hesitate to call for help?
Because it wasn't extreme.
Okay.
And I felt like it was something we could work through.
So after the second attack, that's when
It got worse. It progressed.
Okay.
It progressed. That's what I'm saying. In the beginning, it was like, oh, it's maybe something we can work through. Then the second time, it's like, okay, well, I thought you said we weren't going to do this again, but I'm still willing to work with them. I was stupid. You know, I'm still willing to work with them.
Okay, we know you got to leave, so we're going to dive into our Q&A.
But I did want to finish on that. So he left, and he violated other laws and stuff, running red lights, because that's how out of it he was. He put other people at risk, ran red lights, ran stop signs going 70-something in a 35, and, you know, the residential, running lights and stuff. So he added on other charges, and that proves alone that he wasn't in the right mindset. So the situation is a lot more detailed, but just to give a briefing, my whole point is, I just want to say, ladies, especially younger females, it is not worth it. A man is not going to mistreat you if he really is the one for you. He would consider how you feel, what you have to say, your mind, not reject it, okay? It wouldn't be an instant rejection, whether it's an opinion, how you felt over something he said. He would be trying to uplift you versus shut you down, okay? Because you might have been there. Every female can say it. I was there, did everything you asked me to do, doing this and doing that, but they never gave it back, okay? So is it really worth it? Just think about if it's worth it, and it's always never worth it.
Okay. So we know that domestic violence also involves men. So what advice do you have to men for the fellas that, you know, experience domestic violence from women?
It's the same thing. I mean, I don't know any men who personally experience any domestic violence from women, but it's the same thing. I mean, guys, if she is abusive, if she raises her fist to hit you, stuff like that, then obviously that's not a good sign.
It's time to go. No, not leave here.
Right.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's time to go.
The same thing. And that's one of the signs I ignored. He literally would lift his hand like he wanted to choke me, reaching for my neck. Just, you know, those are not good signs. If a mature person, somebody who's willing to work with you and is somebody healthy mentally, they're not going to get irate over opinions, your own stance. They're not going to get irate over who you are. They would want to find out who you are mentally and build on that.
So some of these, you say he would get hostile or, you know, over opinions and perspectives. So were these opinions and perspectives on, like, almost anything that y'all disagree with?
Anything. It could have been homosexuality. As naturally, you want to understand the stance of your partner, right? Obviously, we covered things when we were dating and all that, but to go deeper, I want to know, if I'm with you, I want to know where you stand in the world.
Right.
Because me, I consider myself to be some sort of activist, you know, missionary, you know, sort of person. And so he always claimed these things, you know, even when I met him, and even on his page, Facebook, you know, he always talked like he was that person, and that's what really attracted me to him. But once we got deeper, and, you know, you're asking questions and stuff, you realize there's nothing there. Everything you said is a complete lie. So I'm asking him the same questions about the things he's, you know, talking in public about, because anytime we get together and talk about these things, he get angry. But we can be in a crowd and they ask the same stuff and he's talking.
So the first time you said you was disagreeing with him, and, you know, his attitude came and you let it go. The second time you were still disagreeing with him?
And it's not necessarily disagree, even in those times I do disagree. Because if you disagree, I encourage anyone, you know, don't lie about who you are. That way you know if you're the real person.
I'm not saying, like, disagree like that. I'm just saying, you know what caused him to be domestic violence the first time by you disagreeing with him. You know, a man feel powerless. They want to feel that power. They want to feel like they are right.
Right.
You took that away from him that first time, so he got angry, which was wrong. He got angry. And me and that's domestic violence, they get angry real quick. They want to feel that power. They want to feel like they're right.
All the time.
Right. So the second time when you said, you know what, we're going to work this out, you continued to disagree with him.
I continued to be who I was, right.
That's good. You was going to be who he was, but if you knew what can happen if you disagree with him, why wouldn't you just play it off? You know how they...
Oh, no.
No, listen, I don't mean it like that. I mean like how some mothers tell men that they better say us women right before they don't get none or something like that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I get what you're saying, but
how come you just couldn't be like, you know what? Okay, you're right. Just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Because you know,
right.
if you disagree with him, it's going to
right.
escalate. You
right,
see what I'm saying?
right. And I get that. And here's my point. I don't cover up who I am. And there's been times where I do let things go, small things. I mean, there's plenty of times. But these are points when he'll ask me something, or if we're just having a conversation. And it's not me disagreeing. That's what I said. It's not me necessarily disagreeing. It's my stance on a viewpoint that he don't like. So it's not that I'm disagreeing. So it's not like I'm disagreeing to anything he's doing. It's me expressing my viewpoint and him going, well, that doesn't make sense.
But you already know how he is from the first point. You know what I'm saying? Just like I knew.
So I'm gonna.
No,
you want, so
I'm not saying it like this. Just like I knew how my, abuser was the first time.
Well, because for one, he didn't have me in the hole. I wasn't in, because as this is like the beginning, I wasn't scared of him. Okay, I'm not that type of woman where I'm gonna, let me be all Miss Timid because I'm gonna please this jerk. No, I'm gonna be me. And if there's something that I disagree with, if it's something that doesn't matter, sure. I mean, plenty of times I'm like, whatever. He just gonna do what he do, whatever. But as far as me covering myself for another person or pretending to be something for another person, I'm not willing to do that.
All right, so can we move forward in our Q&A?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move forward into our Q&A. And my first question I have is, why does domestic violence occur? We got some new viewers in, so why does it occur?
It occurs because we allow it to.
Like, does it start somewhere? Does it has a origin?
It does. I think it does has an origin. Several origins as far as domestic violence. I think people have hidden secrets and insecurities and stuff that they've been through, even from childhood, that they grow up and live and try to cover up. Okay, so it happens because people aren't sure of who they are and they're frustrated with themselves, and even mental health is a big issue. I think it's a mental issue.
Okay, it's for the both of you. One of you can take turns. What was your role in the attack? Like, was there a verbal or a mental attack from you?
Yeah. You want to answer? I can go.
Like, cause it's some, I don't believe.
They're triggers.
I don't believe that a guy just going out of the blue just do. I mean, we have some people who do that because they have source of control or power. But was there a role? What was your role in the attack? Like, was there a verbal or mental attack from you that triggered him to become this way? Because, like I say, you started, getting the love and attention that you received, but then the tables flipped. What was that flip?
Well, on my end, just like I asked her that question, I did some things that I knew, that bothered him. Like, I'm a friendly person. Everybody know me. I'm well known. Everybody from Kennedy knows somebody from John Hay. I'm from the hood. I'm from Kingston, down the way. Everybody know me. By him being so insecure, anybody I say hi to or what's up to, I knew that was going to get to him. You see what I'm saying? It got to him. If somebody be like, what's up, Denise, I got to have my face and I speak back.
Right.
If I speak back,
right. And here's and that answers my question too. Just on that, the thing is that you should have done is leave. Never cover up, never justify, never do any of that. You just leave. And, I'm not going to sit there and go, because he's going to get mad, hit me. Yeah. He's going to hit me if I eat this piece of candy. If I want the piece of candy, I'm gonna eat the piece of candy. I'm not worried about if he's gonna hit me, because what I need to do is leave. But yeah, I have triggers, and I did have triggers. I ask a lot of questions. Okay, I do. I have a very inquisitive mind. I can get real deep with you. Okay, I can ask you one question that'll have your mind spinning. You know, and I do that. But I didn't feel like I did that, but perhaps I did. And even when we talked after the incident, you know, I did apologize. Maybe I asked one too many questions. Maybe my voice tends to get loud and squeaky, high, and that would be a trigger for him quite often. Me getting loud.
Okay. Did your case like end with him being incarcerated or anything, or y'all just went y'all separate ways? How did that end?
No, you know, like I said in earlier my story, he was about to go to jail already and do 6 months. So they held him when he went to court that day. They held him. His bond was $1 million. So the same person that married us was the same person that divorced us, was the same person that sentenced him. And I went through, they wanted to give him F1, attempted murder, and because I have a heart, and I didn't want him away from my daughter,
Right.
I agreed with F3.
Right.
But he could have had,
Right, and I can
he
relate to
could
that
have
too.
had F1.
Right.
He could have had F1, but again, like I said, I have a heart.
Right.
And it's so crazy because God works so quick, because just because I had that heart at that time, he's incarcerated right now at this point. At this point right now, he just picked up a whole nother domestic violence case.
Wow.
So, meaning he never even changed.
Yep, and that's the thing. I think that's the twisted part of domestic violence, because you still love that person. Like, you really still love that person. And even in the case, I made a deal with the prosecutors. He could have really had a felony and more time. But because he didn't beat the heart out of me, you know, I agreed to a shorter time and a lesser charge.
So speaking on, you know, incarceration, so knowing that incarceration is modern day slavery for black people, especially black men, and the conditions of confinement is very, very poor, resulting in major health conditions, being at risk for violence or death against gang members or other more violent individuals, do you feel that a minor degree of DV should be reported to law enforcement authorities? If so, explain. If not, how do you think minor situation should be handled?
And this is tough, because when you're not really with the government, you know, to each his own. Everybody is going to do what they do, but I don't think any aspect of domestic violence should be measured in minor or major. I think it all, you know, needs to be accounted for and reported. Whether I don't know, reach out to family. I don't know, leaders in the community, like black men. If you're a woman and you're dealing with a man, reach out to a black leader in the community, a man that you could seek advice from. Is this something I can still work through? I think, you know, talk to people and get other opinions. Don't just run with the opinion. And, you know, you gotta make a decision based off all the information you get.
I feel like if it's minor, in my opinion, I think you should seek help. If it's just counseling or anything, if it's a real minor, seek help to see if it can be fixed, because a minor can escalate to something big if it's not help, you know. We don't know. Just like we both said our triggers and what triggered them the first, second, and third time, try to get that help at the beginning.
Right away.
Try right away.
Don't justify his silly self.
Try
Get
right
help.
away. Just try right away. Counseling if it got to do
His
with
or her
relationship, anything.
silly stuff.
His or her.
His or her.
We don't have any men here to
Right.
so we're
discuss it,
talking
you
about
know?
the women right now.
I understand, but we can still have male viewers. So
Well, if you
this is
guys,
speaking out against
do we
domestic
have any
violence.
male viewers who would
But
like
you know what? You know what?
to
To
post
be
a
honest,
story or comment something?
a woman can splash out on a man. You know, that's because that's what
I've seen
she's
that
immune
happen.
to. That's what she's immune to. She's immune to so much hurt. So he might have said something to her and she splashed out. So you know what? If you don't, that's why at the beginning of a relationship, you always learn their pain. You need
Learn
to
their pain.
learn their
Ooh,
pain.
I love
learn
that.
their pain.
I love-
You learn your woman's pain, and I'm gonna learn my man's pain.
I love
if y'all love each other, if y'all like each other, if y'all interested in each other, y'all not gonna push them buttons.
You gotta learn
You're
the
not gonna
pain.
hurt me.
I'll pick up
Yes.
on that later.
I'm just saying, you're not gonna hurt me. You're not going to bring up my past and her pain. And some men is not strong enough to accept a woman pain. And some
or to accept their own pain. Not to even accept their own pain.
They can't.
They run away from
so
themselves.
Quick. They see a woman that been through so much, and all they see is run.
They run from themselves.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I definitely witness that.
If that woman is attached, she might splash out on you and be like, "I'm tired of people running from me." You know,
Right.
she might swing a punch or something. But you know,
Right, and I think that leads to another part of this discussion: conquering and moving forward after domestic violence. Okay.
So we are aware of some of the legalistics of domestic violence. We know that early detection is one of the preventive measures of domestic violence. So during early detection, what are some of the warning signs? So we got a national defense line that you can call domestic violence line that can outline some of the warning signs. But for our viewers, what are some of the warning signs like that you must be on the lookout for? Have your head on the swivel for.
Physical gestures to attack you.
I feel like it be mentally worse too, because mental it hurts worse. Oh, you still that? Oh, you ain't never gonna change up.
You
He
don't
ain't
make
gonna
no
love you
sense.
like I love you. You never gonna find
They
nobody
try to
love
make
you
you
like me.
tell you you're crazy, you're this, you're that. If they can't figure you out,
You
and
weak.
there's always different cases. Like her case is different than mine. There's so many different stories of domestic violence. But in my case, do not allow a person to force you to conform to their idea of what they want you to be, okay? Be free with yourself, and the right person will accept you for you.
So my next question would be, so I know that both of you have children. Have your children experienced any of your abuse? If so, were they affected?
Well, my son experienced it. My son, he'll be 12. He watched me get beat through all my relationships. My son also went through kids who witnessed violence. And that's why I tell us women, and I learned that now, be careful who I bring in my home. Be careful about relationships. They say, why rush into a relationship? Well, why keep on bringing y'all meals around my kids? Why keep on playing around with y'all? I'm too grown for that. I have 2 children that look at me. They want family, foundation. We're too young for this. We're too young to be playing hide and seek. So, yes, my son actually watched me. And it triggers him because he also don't have his father in his life. So I put my son through a whole lot to now my kids is my everything.
Right.
So now I have to be overprotective. He can tell you what happened to me. He can say everything.
Right.
And it hurts to my soul.
Right.
So yes, I went through it. And it's hard.
So your children haven't experienced it?
No. At that time, I had just moved here. We had been together for roughly a year at this time. And my kids were with their dad at the time, and I just brung them here. So they weren't even around, but they did experience, and they did like him, and they did get attached a little bit. They liked him because we did things together with the kids, but it wasn't that type of situation where they were living with me and him.
Sweet. So I'm going to pick up off of that. So in the chapter of Finding the Love of Mom and Dad, my new book, Cultivating Minds to Own Thyself, that will be released this coming year, I discuss how children mimic their parents' behavior. So I want to read like a little short thing about it that touch on the subject of your kids being exposed to abuse and what that looks like for your child as they become older. So when mommy and daddy, grandma, grandpa, or aunt and uncle fight and argue with one another, the child that witnesses that behavior tends to start fighting, being aggressive and dominant toward the opposite gender. The same goes for the same sex. Those mental notes taken during the early stages of child and youth life are often put into action when they become adolescents and young adults. So for example, a little girl who witnesses her mother get abused, battered, or even raped by daddy or another man becomes damaged for life. She grows older either fearing all men, finding love by dating women, or date men that are as aggressive as their dad, or the men that was beating their dad, beating and dating their mother. Some women would date these kind of men because their mommy didn't leave that dominant and abusive relationship. Again, that's mental notes from childhood put into play during adulthood. since her mommy didn't leave that abusive relationship, that little girl who is now a woman believes in her mind that what she experienced her mother go through is how love is supposed to be. Mommy was slapped, raped, beaten, and stay with dad or that man, so maybe I'm supposed to be slapped, raped, beaten, and I'm supposed to stay with him. Or since my mom cooked and cleaned for her abusive partner, I'm supposed to cook and clean for my dominant abusive partner, so I won't be alone. So we have some people who stay good, with fear of being alone.
And just on that, I can honestly say I did witness my mom going through domestic violence, and who she's married to now, they've been together for like 18 years, maybe more. I could be wrong on that. Mom, if you're watching, correct me, please. I think 18 years, but it turned out to be a success story. Okay. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It's different for different people. That's why I said, and they did do counseling and a lot of different stuff. So I don't know if that really played a role, but it pretty much for the most part turned out to be a success story, and I didn't see him doing stuff like that again. And that stuff happened when I was really young. So me watching that and seeing what my mom endured, I did think, well, she's a strong woman, but at the same time, I'm like, well, is she just, whatever, just being weak? But I realized that she's a strong woman, and she made the choice to stay because she saw the potential. So sometimes you gotta go by what you see, considering others' information, but to each his own. It was a success story, and so I thought, growing up, being in a relationship, to go through things is just a natural thing, which it is, but there are limits.
So I asked you guys, these questions, as far as like early detection, what causes domestic violence, just so I can see if I'm on the same page of like what triggers it. So I shared the experience with the little girl. I want to go ahead and to share what a little boy, what happens to a little boy once he experienced domestic violence and abuse, and what it looks like when he becomes an adult.
Okay.
So a little boy that witnesses his mother get abused, battered, or raped by daddy or by another man is also damaged for life. He grows older, being more aggressive and dominant toward women, beating them or even raping them as their father or the man who abused their mother had done. He would date and prey upon the weak women, abuse them, and take them for granted. He would use anger and aggression to get things to go his way because he had never experienced his abusive daddy or the man in the house show affection toward his mother. He spent life disrespecting women and being distant from love and affection. The little boy believes what he saw his dad do or what he saw another man do to his mother is what he's supposed to do to girls or women. Well, since my dad slapped her, I'm supposed to slap women when they don't listen and when they yell back. That little boy that experienced daddy or a man force himself on top of his mother and aggressively have sex with her may become the man forcing himself on top of another woman. So.
Wow, that's a really good point, and it makes sense because the person I had the experience with, his mother was a victim of domestic violence, and out his own mother's mouth, his dad used to beat on her all the time, and they were like ex-druggies or whatever, and he saw a lot of stuff as a kid, and he really, I believe, and I used to, try to help him work through some of this stuff, but some people you have to allow to experience stuff on their own. Sometimes experience is going to be their teacher. It doesn't matter how good of a woman you are or what you're doing for this person. You can't make them see the value or appreciate you for it because they're battling certain demons and emotions they're suppressing inside, which does not allow them to see you for who you are because of what's going on in their head. And I honestly believe that he has a mental condition and some extremely emotional scars that he's running from and suppressing. So he would get angry just over small things that normal people would not get angry over.
So, like I said, that was borrowed from my new book, Chapter 4, Finding the Love of Mom and Dad. So my question from sharing that is, what preventative measures can we take to prevent our children who have been exposed to the parents' violent abuse from becoming abusers and victims themselves?
I think that's a good question. She could answer.
Well, I try to be a better mother. I talk to my son. I explain to him. We pray together. He read the Bible. He's in a church. he's around my brothers. My brother's a pastor.
Okay.
And I just keep him strong, and I just let him know, like, you seen how mommy was hurt. I don't ever want you to hurt another woman like that ever. Him and my daughter, they are close. I keep them close together. He watches my daughter watch him, and I just ask God to continue. If it's, everybody had a different beliefs, I ask God to continue to help me strengthen my son to go on the right positive path. And I don't care what it takes. I'm gonna keep on striving my son to be better.
I like that. I like that, Jasmine.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
What preventative measures can we take to prevent our children who have been exposed to their parents' violent abuse from being abusers and victims themselves?
I mean, just be smart about the actions. Everything you do, think about your kid. It doesn't matter if you're lonely and you just want to feel somebody around, and you're willing to sacrifice, what your kids are exposed to, just to have that somebody. Don't do it. I mean, it's not worth it. So everything you do, put your kids first, is what I would say. Put your kids first, and think about your selfish desires and needs later. Seek other tasks. I know I'm going beyond the question, but seek other activities. Get involved in doing stuff. Find yourself things you're into, so where you're not needing a man to give you these feelings and all that. You can do it for yourself. But think about your kids and everything you do, and I think that's the most preventative thing you can do.
Okay, sounds good. Moving forward, many individuals fail to report their abuse, especially men. Why are victims silent?
I would say for men, maybe because they would probably be considered a chump. Oh, you punk, get beat up by a girl, whatever. And for women, a lot of times scared. Some victims are scared. When it's severe cases, like how hers seemed to be, you go into a hole, or a scare mode. And then other cases, like with mines, you're not so fearful, but you just don't feel like, you just forgive and you move on. Some people just forgive and move on, so they don't report it. But they still are left with the scars and feeling like there was no justice. So that brings other problems. That's a few I can name.
Well, on my end, my situation is lightweight different from hers. I was married to mine, so meaning as me being a woman of God, I'm trying to work with my husband. I'm doing counseling. I'm trying. This is my husband. This is why I say I do too. So whatever it took, we have our child. We doing everything right. We got married first. We having our child, and I'm trying to build a family and foundation. He's filling up every scar I got, but at the same time, when I push them buttons or he's feeling insecure or hurt, he's hurting them at the same time too. So one day I can be healed, and the next day I'm happy. Then the next day it's your shirt ripped off and everything. So I wasn't actually scared. I made myself comfortable. I can put it like that. I made myself comfortable to the point to where I had to get out of that comfortable mode. You know what I'm saying? In order to be safe for me and my kids. Because it wasn't right.
So why do you think victims are silent?
Because they're comfortable. They're either comfortable or they're scared. They're comfortable. They feel like, I was to that point to where, back to the past questions you said, I seen my family go through it. And I had the person that molested me tell me he was getting me ready for the real world. So everything that I endured my whole life, getting beat and everything, I thought in my head, mentally abused, that this was the real world. I knew that I never been that type of person to give up easy on relationships. I'm that type of person, I want the relationship like my grandmother. I want to work hard. I don't
think about what they went through.
You know what I'm saying? I want that real love. So I didn't give up easy. I was comfortable. I was determined to get that relationship my grandmother and them had. Like, I want to work hard. You want me to go to counseling with you? I'm going with you. It didn't work though. That's why when it goes back to males, you know what I'm saying? Yes, it can damage them in the future. It can damage your kids in the future, but it's all up to your kids. You can change if you want to. You can look at that woman and be like, I remember when my mother was hurt, and I don't want this woman to be hurt too. So you don't actually have to live your life doing exactly what you seen that other person do. Just like us women, you know what I'm saying? And for instance, me, I've been through so much to where I disrespected myself as a woman because I was looking for love in all the wrong places. But it took a time for me to look at my kids and say, I have to change. I'm going to change. I'm going to be a mother. I'm going to be, I'm going to be a better person. Yes. I'm going to be a better person. And I'm going to be that person my kids can look up to. Like, yes, I know my mother did this, but I'm going to do better. So if a man watch their family get abused, or if my son, I'm not saying I want it to happen, but if he ever even attempt to hit somebody, he can always draw back to where he remember my pain and not want to do it. So you can change if you want to.
Okay. My next question is, how did you develop the courage to report and speak out against your abuse?
I mean, to me, it was normal. It was like, no thing. You're not getting away with it. You're not. Because I feel like I gave enough chances, you know, to where I let it slide. And I just wasn't going to take it anymore. I didn't feel like what happened to me, I didn't deserve that. You know, I was good to this guy, you know, doing stuff that guys dream of, you know, a really honest, loyal woman. And he had it all as far as that. And he took me for granted, and he didn't appreciate it, and it hurt me. So, you know, and for him to leave scars on me like that, and to put his hands on me, and to even put a fist just to hit me in the head and stuff, was like, how can you do this? How can you do that? So I was so hurt at that time. I was just like, no, it ain't no moving forward. We're not going to have a relationship after this. You're not getting away with it. You're not. You're not. And even to this day, he doesn't take self-accountability for it. He doesn't.
So how did you develop the courage to speak out against it? Like, share your story.
Well, it wasn't it wasn't a matter of developing. I just am naturally courageous, and it was like, okay, I'm going to speak.
Okay. How about you, Denise?
Well, everybody know me. I'm a friendly person. I'm a talkative person. I've never been ashamed to tell what I've been through. And I love what I do. I love speaking out. I love helping people. It's my heart. It's my motive. I don't care what nobody say, because at the end of the day, I feel like everybody that's on Facebook that be shining and be splurging or whatever and think they popular, it's always somebody looking up to you. And if you held what you got or what you've been through, people look at you different. But if I'm that person, I'm going to go back. If I'm that person and I admired you and you told me everything you went through, I'm going to look at you total different. And I'm going to respect you more. So I felt like no matter what person I am, I'm not better than nobody. I want to speak out. I want to help. I want people to know I'm not perfect.
Yeah,
I've been through it. I did it. And,
and you
I'm not
find a sense of-
sugarcoating nothing.
Right. You find a sense of pride, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, you can either let the scars wear you, or you wear the scars, you know?
So who helped you through your situation, and how did you regain your strength in yourself?
Jameel helped. No. He did help in ways, which is some universal connects that really was like, wow. But he was a really good factor. And then just my friend source. I have some friends who are a little bit overprotective, but they were there at the time. So, I mean, being able to talk to my friends and stuff, you know, really helped. And then it's like as soon as that situation ended, things started going on the right path for me. You know, I'm getting different connects, you know, because I always been a business type person, goals, writing down goals and plans. And he wasn't that person. So I like how she said you got to understand, learn who the person is and their past. And to add to that, you got to understand what that person is actually trying to get out of life, what that person is doing. Because if you're unevenly yoked, say I'm a self-motivated person, I'm out here, got goals, and that person honestly doesn't have any goals other than, I don't know, to be a rapper, they'll get irritated with you by you being this, you know, person that can go here, 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 do this, do that. And they're just in one spot, not moving anywhere. So they could get upset with you with that. But
Denise?
She got so talking, I forgot what you said. What was you saying?
I was fine.
I almost forgot.
Who helped you get through your situation, and how did you regain your strength?
Oh, I've been a positive person my whole life, from 2 years old getting burned, from 15 years old getting molested, from getting married and getting beat. And I always been positive. It's in me. It's my blood. Like, it's nothing that's gonna break me down, nothing, nobody. I don't care what y'all say about me. I'm that type of person. I'm gonna smile, been smiling my whole life. You can say whatever. God is my everything. He is my blessing. My kid is my number one, and my family. Friends, I have no real good friends. I have the type of friends that's good and there for you when you're going through it, and they that ear, but physically, like, there for you, motivating you, pushing you to do what you love doing the most, they not there. Right. So, me, myself, my kids, and my family is my number one, and God. That's
Yahweh.
it.
That's good.
The Almighty.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
So for those of you who are a victim of domestic violence and are afraid to speak out,
Call me, I'll help you.
yeah, there's also a national
I
domestic.
call the police.
There's also a national domestic violence hotline for victims. You know, that number is 1-800-799-7233. That's 1-800-799-7233.
And it doesn't matter what sort of domestic violence you're experiencing. Maybe your situation isn't like hers. Maybe it isn't like mine, and you have a special case. It doesn't matter. We all relate, and it's all domestic violence. Okay.
So we just, you know, focus on the victims as far as getting help. So my last question that I have, and then we're gonna go into some of the comments and the questions from our audience. Can you do the time check, please? Yeah. So we're gonna do my last question. Then we're gonna go to the comments from our live feeds and take a few questions and answer them. So, what are some resources that abusers can take advantage of other than incarceration that can help prevent further aggressive behavior?
Real friends. Not the friends that's going to help you justify your actions, but the friends that's going to tell you, hey, you're wrong, and here's what you need to do, or, you know, here's a solution or some help, who actually adds, who's not afraid to tell you you're wrong and actually adds some sort of solution and benefit to the situation other than helping you justify your actions.
I feel like your first step is admit it. First, you gotta admit that you know you that abuser. First, you have to admit it. Once you admit it, then you able to put your pride aside and get that help. Once you admit it, your pride is done. You know what I'm saying? You're able to get that help.
I do too.
You're able to get that help. Go to that person. Talk to that person. Go to counseling. Do whatever you is. If it's research, whatever. If it separates yourself from that person and find your own quiet zone, get yourself together and get your help before it escalates.
Beautiful.
I like that.
Beautiful.
Because in my notes I said, before any treatment, one will first have to take self-accountability for their actions. Recognizing his or her role in the attack. How did you get to that point, and the consequences for your actions?
Yeah, because even as we sit here as victims, which I don't like to call myself a victim, but even as we sit here as victims, we can say what we did wrong. So when the abuser can't even say that he was wrong, I mean, that person needs help.
Okay. Well, that was my last question. So I'm going to get up because I know it's not about me, it's about y'all. So I'm going to go take some comments and, you know, read up some things, and you guys
Sure. Stay tuned.
ready.
Stay tuned. We're still here, guys.
We ready. We ready for these questions. Bring them.
Yeah, we some survivors. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop.
I'm gonna call.
Hey, now I got you out of my life. I'm so much better.
ESKAAPE is still live, and you don't have any comments from ESKAAPE.
Okay. We got like 60 people in there.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to go back to the top. Wow, we got a lot of information.
Oh, cool.
Goodness
Oh,
gracious.
yeah, look at that.
Okay, let me try. I wish I would have known about this. Yeah, Tila, we wish we was here.
The first step of moving forward is to forgive. It doesn't matter how hard it is. You got to let that go. You got to let it go and move on with your life.
I forgive. That's why I'm so beautiful. Y'all see this smile?
I still love you.
Yes.
You know I do.
Miss Tila said y'all are courageous women. Speak out. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. I thought I was going to cry, but you know what? I found strength in this. I really did.
No, see.
I thought I was going to cry.
So
You watch my YouTube video, everybody asks me, how can you smile through the video?
It's a
Because
beautiful
you're healed. You're healed. Once you're healed, you can smile. Look, I can smile.
Yeah.
now.
Right.
Hey.
Okay, my brother Rio said, this is big SHIT. You speaking up, fam. Stay strong and don't put up with shit you don't deserve.
Don't do it.
Don't
Don't,
like
don't
that.
put it up with nothing.
I
I
think
bet-
that's why I'm single now.
Listen,
Because God
right.
preparing me for my man.
Right.
You know,
And even when I'm dating, the first sign of you crazy,
I'm out.
bye.
So yeah, Tila picks up. She said that signs start way before actually hitting. So control is a huge sign of abuse, as well as
Yes.
isolation from friends, family, and
Yes.
jealousy.
Yes.
And I want you to have a voice, a mind of your own.
Yes. Yeah, everyone, even in a relationship, you should be able to have a voice, your own voice. You should be able to have your own opinions without being attacked, you know. So, absolutely.
She also said, "Good jewels, Denise." So that's good information. Did you guys discuss the issue from the first incident, or did you just let it go? We'll pick up on that. Let's see what we got.
And we really did try to shorten our stories for this. We don't have a lot of time. We wanted to touch on the signs, the warning signs, and what led up to the situations, just to try to get the best benefit out of it.
Andrew Lloyd, what's going on, my brother? So Tila said there's no such thing as a minor case of DV, but
Right.
according to the state of Ohio,
Yep.
you have your misdemeanors and you have your felonies. So also, domestic violence can be threatened. So that is a minor case. So I just want to clarify that because I do work. I work in the system.
And that's with
so.
the law, but when it comes to life and situations, there is no minor.
So my dude, Deron Curtis McGee, he said men are abused. Men should not hit women. No. But as human beings, men have the right to defend themselves.
They do.
They do.
That's a good point.
They do. Absolutely.
Well, that's
If
true.
if no one, but the only time you can defend yourself is if somebody is attacking you. If somebody put their hands on you, if somebody, just like you would tell a woman or your kid, you don't hit nobody unless they put their hands on you or if they're threatening you. If they're not doing those things, they have no right to put their hands
If
on you.
you are a male and a woman hit you, I feel like you're strong enough to walk away. But call the police on them.
Well, yeah, you know,
We
if,
can go to
if-
jail just like
if-
you guys can.
If I'm
We
like
can get
this to
in
a
trouble just
man
like you
and I'm
can.
like, oh yeah, I'm a, beat her up.
Walk
Or, I
away.
mean, do what you got to do or whatever. But you have no right to put your hands on people. Like, we're grown.
I think I'm too
You
beautiful.
should
I
know
think
that.
jail gonna hurt me more than hit me. So
Right.
you call
Right.
the police on me, you know.
Right. I will.
What? You
I
know,
will defend myself. That's
you
just
should,
how it
yeah.
goes.
I mean, if you,
That's how it
you
goes.
should always take some self-defense
Turn
classes.
into
You
Tina
never
mode.
know, you
Tina
know.
mode on them.
Let's see,
You
what
know
do
when
we
Tina,
have?
when she got fed up, it was over.
Can you ask them if they have any questions for y'all?
You guys have any questions? Comment them now. I'm out.
It's okay. Ask them. Open for any questions, you guys.
Well, we got a debate going on, not between us, but between other viewers.
Hey guys.
So
Come on,
Monica
questions.
McCall says, I believe most women are not scared from harm, but scared of being alone and losing someone they love,
They
and
love.
that foundation.
Yeah,
That's actually true.
it is
That's
true.
actually
I
true.
was in that point. Like I said earlier, I was scared of being alone. I never knew how to be by myself. My whole life, I always had a man. Like I say now, I've been single for 2 years, and it's the longest I ever been single. I always felt like I had to have somebody.
Don't you feel
So,
good?
so when you guys read my book, y'all will see I kept a lot of secret, but I want y'all to read my book. But I never been without a man because I was looking for that love in all the wrong places.
Right.
And it took me to read the Bible and learn that I have to love myself. I have to love God first. Once I love
Self-love.
myself more, a man gonna love me even more.
You can only add to it, right?
You know, so I love myself too much now. So whatever man I meet, he better be.
I know that's right.
I know that's
I know
right.
that's right. My dude, McGee, he picked up from what Shamanica says. So he said he liked that Shamanica. When I hear scared, I'm thinking scared of what? Scared of the abuser or scared to be alone? If you're scared of a person, you run or you
Right.
defend yourself.
Right.
Not sitting there and take the beating.
Right.
That's a good point. Oh, she
Yep.
said I'm 108 pounds, 5'2". I tried defending myself, and he beat my ass worse. I was terrified.
Oh yeah, that make them. You try to defend yourself. It makes them more angry, and they'll
So
start hurting you worse.
my thing is, if you have no way out, then you get engaged. But if there's the door, take the door and run. You know, that's my thing right there. Let's see, do we have any questions?
I feel like
We got a debate. It's sparked. It's good.
Because we can run and close that door but open it back up. You know what I'm trying to say? So you have to be to that point to where you feel like enough is enough. Because I did it. I opened that door back and forth. I called the police. I kept on calling the police. I left. But I opened that door. I kept on opening it back up until it was to the point to where I almost lost my life. Like it was like,
and that could have easily been me.
So you got to be strong enough to admit that you know what hurt is. As a woman, you don't deserve this hurt. That's why it all boils down to you loving yourself first. Because if you love yourself first, you know that love don't hurt.
That's true.
Love shouldn't hurt.
Supposed to feel good.
It's not love. It's supposed to feel good. And at that point in time, it didn't feel good.
Right.
That door has to be automatic closed. Get help and move forward.
I agree.
Let's see what we got. Well, you know,
I'm gonna have to.
we got a debate that's going on. That's cool. You could just, if you wish. I'm trying to see if you have any questions, because we have well, they challenging themselves. They're having a debate in between, you know, amongst each other on there. But that's it. So that's the last one.
Don't stay in a bad relationship, guys. It's not worth it.
Okay, let me see. Let me get back to close it up.
This was really nice. I know they're ready.
So we want to thank you all for viewing. Denise, thanks for sharing your story.
Thank you,
Jasmine, thanks
guys.
for sharing your story. You awesome. Y'all did an excellent job. I hope I was a good moderator for y'all. So
You was great, Jameel. We love you.
We really do.
He's very inspirational. Buy all his books.
He is.
Tell him to order some more shirts,
brother.
y'all.
He's a good guy. Yeah.
I appreciate it. So again, we are ESKAAPE. You can follow, like our page, ESKAAPE, ESKAAPE.
That's ESKAAPE.
Denise, you can give your social media information if you like, so people can, you know, stay in tune and contact you, especially for your new book.
Yes.
Let's get ready to come out.
We're waiting for that.
Yes, I can't wait, you guys. So, yes, my Facebook page is Denise, me and my two powers. I'm also going to be on Hollywood show.
I know that right.
You know,
right. Hollywood show.
November 7th. Player T show, you guys, so y'all know Charles Cobb. Make sure y'all watch that November 7th. Y'all will hear more about my story and my abuse and everything that I went through. And yes, I do have a book coming out next summer. You guys, called My Scars.
There we go.
Nice.
You know, Jameel helped me with the word. Okay, I'm too loud, y'all, but we gotta go.
We gotta go. We'll see. Oh, wait. We can't leave yet. We still have to do a topic jar. Come on.
You can add Jasmine on Facebook as Queen Jasmine Arrington.
Yes.
And Miss Denise will allow you to pick our next topic of discussion.
Let me pick this topic, y'all. Let it be good.
Let's see what
Pray
we're gonna
is
talk
good,
about.
y'all. Pray is good.
We need some more topics. Can you?
I'm scared, y'all. Look.
Can you
I'm
guys
cheating.
comment some topics so we can put it in the jar? What is it?
Jameel gonna like this.
What
one,
is
y'all.
it?
This is Jameel's. Why are you mad? Because I'm proud to be black.
Ooh, yes.
Y'all know that's Jameel.
Yes.
This is Jameel's
I
on
love it. Yes, and it is.
So
Jameel.
again, read that for him.
Why are you mad? Because I'm proud to be black. That's the next subject. We'll see you guys
Jameel
later.
about to tear it up, y'all.
Oh, man. And Jasmine, yes.
We gotta go. Peace.
Nice.
Oh man.